Black women are responsible for the broken homes in our community.
No, they are not responsible.
Why not?
I think because it's impossible. They're the part of the home that stayed, so the part that left is the broken part.
Hmm.
In
What
my
if you
opinion.
what if you stayed with the child but you left? Does that make you responsible?
Well, you made the child with that parent, so you, by leaving the parent and leaving the home, you left the child and took away their ability to have two parents inside of that home. It's only broken because the man left.
No, I'm saying like, so say in a hypothetical situation, um a man wanted to be in the house with the child and the mother wants a divorce because she's unhappy. Did she break the home up, or did the father break the home up? Who stays with the child?
It's still the man.
No, no matter what, it's always the man who broke that home up.
Well,
If
because
she wants a divorce because she's unhappy.
men are the leaders, so the decisions made by the followers are based on the leadership.
Okay. Will, I want you to respond to what.
Hey, if you don't mind, I would like to respond to what everybody said real quick. I'll start with Danielle, but I'm not going to ask y'all no questions because y'all don't know how to answer questions. I think Sweeney's finally starting to realize that. She said that the person who left the home is the one in the wrong. If I leave the home with my children and I get a divorce and I, as a man, retain custody, but I leave and I take the kids with me, by her estimation, I'm still wrong. So it doesn't really make sense. Women are the ones who file for divorce 80% of the time. They're the plaintiffs, but we're blaming men for getting put out, saying that they left. I know many men that when they're going through divorces, they're only leaving the house because they get a court order or some sort to leave the house, or the police say, hey, we need one of y'all to go. And the man is like, all right, you stay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna figure this out. And now he gets blamed for that, according to her. But nonetheless, whatever. Marcus, you say
That's not what I said.
Okay, let me go to Marcus. You can write it down, write your response down, and you can hit me with the reply. Marcus, you said blame the people who have kids out of wedlock. Blame the people who get divorced. Cool. Then you will have to blame the women again, because women are the ones who decide when children come into the world. A lot of these women, and I'm not advocating for abortion. If a woman wants to have her baby, have your baby. But a lot of these women are having children when the relationship is already over. Most dudes who are not going to be in these kids' lives, I'm gonna make a guess, are breaking up. They're breaking up in the first trimester. I don't think dudes are breaking up with their women in her 8th and 9th month of pregnancy, being there for her throughout and then breaking up. And most women, I never talk to women and they say the man left her. Every time I talk to a woman, she say she left the relationship. She decided to have a kid even when he didn't want the kid, and she decided to file for divorce. So she is the one ruining these homes based on all of my experience.
But
Now,
she doesn't have the power to do that. How can a woman? How can a woman make a man do?
Danielle, you gotta let him finish.
I could be wrong. And then when Vaughn said people ain't adapting, and it's like you're supposed to adapt before you have children. Like there's no family to break up if you realize that you're not adapting to one another. Either he's not adapting or she's not adapting. I don't care who in your regard, in your claim, but the people should have adapted to one another before conception.
You're absolutely right. But if you're not, that's not realistic.
Hold on, Vaughn.
Okay.
Finish. He cooking. He cooking. Let him cook.
So you again, you have to blame the woman according to Marcus, because if you're having kids out of wedlock with a man you have yet to adapt to, now I get it. I'm not absolving the man of his wrongdoing. Me blaming the woman does not mean the man is not held accountable for his wrongdoing. Y'all keep talking about men got to be careful where they spread their seed. They really don't, because y'all keep acting like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go to you now, Ali, and I'm gonna tie it all together and I'm gonna shut up. Ali say, Ali keep on claiming that what I say? Men are making all these bad decisions on where they having these kids. Yet at the same neck, at this part of her body, she is also saying that women are doing such a great job raising these kids. So I think if I get a woman pregnant outside of wedlock, and she's a great mom raising my kids, I made a good decision as to what soil I chose to fertilize. Now, if you're saying that these women are bad mothers, then you can say he's making a bad decision on where he chose to plant his seed. So y'all are just saying, y'all not even thinking about what y'all saying. It just sounds good for social media. I digress.
I want to say
Right,
something.
hold on, y'all. Hold on. I want to get Trev in there. Man, well, you over there cooking, bro. Go ahead, Trev. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I just want to give a little bit of context as to some of the reasoning of why I said I put a little bit more of the onus on women. There's a few things, right? One, we are on a different trend right now. Like, it's estimated that 54% of men are black men will have never fathered a child, right? Secondly, we have to consider the 80-20 rule, that there are 20% of the men who are creating 80% of the babies. When you take that into consideration, the other 80% are being at least relatively responsible. So there's quite more women that are actually producing in the degenerate behavior. And thirdly, there's so much to it. I heard the incarceration rate too. Less than 2% of black men are actually incarcerated. So I don't even think it's a point we should mention and say that could possibly be the reasoning for broken homes. There's not a lot of black men that are incarcerated as it is right now. Like, most of us don't behave like that. That's the problem. We're getting a bad rap and credit for things that aren't actually happening. There is a small subset of men that are terrible, that are doing all these horrible things, who I would never co-sign and absolutely hold accountable, but we can't put it all on every man, right? Most men are out here trying to be responsible. There are some men who don't know how to navigate in relationships with women. I get that, but we're not inherently bad fathers or trying to leave situations that are great. That's not what it is. I'll leave it there.
All right, go ahead, Sweeney.
So I do want to walk down the rabbit hole with Danielle, if I may. But if y'all don't want me to do that, I can leave it alone, let the rest of the panel have a conversation. But this is what I'm going to explain. This is what I meant by you. As long as we try to keep this blanketed and we don't start talking about the reasons why relationships break down, you will always see this conversation be this way, where, for example, Danielle said, oh, well, yeah, we're divorcing and it's your fault that I divorced you. Or it's your fault that even if I leave, it's your fault. Because at that point, we don't actually get down to the nitty gritty of why relationships fall apart. I keep saying this. I can't say this enough. We do to one another. One group does not do more to the other when it comes to the negative aspects of a relationship. That is not how we work as relationships. We do to one another when it comes to negative, and we do to one another when it comes to the positive aspects of relationships. Very rare is a relationship broken down just because of one person, or it's just one person's fault. You can you can always pass the buck to the next person. Every single time we can have a conversation and we'll have a woman come up here and tell us, oh, these men are abandoning their children. And then Will will say, how many people do you know where the man is just walking out of the household? Most of the time the woman leaves. And then a woman will respond, yeah, we leave, but why are we leaving? It's because he screwed up. But then if you go and you talk to that man, they would say things like, oh, well, the men leave too. They just shut down in the relationship. So they leave the relationship mentally. But then you have to ask that woman, Okay, then, since we want to talk about why you left because he left mentally, then why did he leave mentally? Oh, well, if you ask him, he says, oh, well, she did this to me. And then she will respond and say, well, you said that I did that to you. Well, you did this to me to make me do this to you. And you see how we keep passing the buck back and forth? Every single time you just keep passing the buck. The woman wants to say it's the man's fault. The man wants to say it's the woman's fault. Even though y'all are both doing to each other in a relationship. The problem is that neither one of y'all, both of y'all know how to do wrong to each other. Neither one of y'all have the conflict resolution ability to fix the relationships that y'all are in. That's the breakdown of the home. Neither one of y'all have.
Hold on.
And where you think you gained that from, Sweeney? Well, no, I'm not asking you.
He was saying so.
Wait, let us.
Hold on. I just want to say.
Hold on, y'all. We're gonna go to Danielle and then Ali.
So, Sweeney, I don't know why you coming for me tonight. I thought we was cool, but
for you, I was just using you as an example. God damn.
I thought we was cool, Sweeney.